Boys and girls, what's up? We will be live with you here with David Codrea in under 3 minutes. Hang tight for us. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense Garbage Day at the Ranch begins in just a couple minutes. All right, guys, coming to you in about 15 seconds live.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, the Wednesday Garbage Day edition from the ranch begins right now here in the CZ Studios. All of it brought to you, of course, by the National Rifle Association. And we are here on this powerful Platinum Patriot Mobile microphone here at the Patriot Mobile Command Center. Greg in Dallas, how you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good.
All right,
we are top of the hill.
Ready to push all the right buttons?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
typically do.
The left was pushing all the right buttons for us over the last couple of days, that's for sure. We're going to
continue. They're good at that.
They are good at that. Guys, we're live for you on Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. If you go over there, please like us and join the 80,000 fans that are over there. We appreciate that very much. And Greg, I'll let you do the rest of the deal because we're live everywhere else, and then we'll get started with OG David Codrea. We love when David's on.
Yep, definitely. Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. Over on X, we're at AAR Mark. You can head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com, hit that menu icon, then select your watch live or listen live option. And lastly, to join our live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Boom, pow, zam. If you do that, you're in. Oh, I about cut my face to crap shaving today. I don't know what happened. I put a new blade in.
Oh.
I use the single blades, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh, man. Oh, I was like, I had to take that thing out and put another new one in. I don't know what I did with that thing, but it hurt, man. I lost my bet, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody's going to bet me to grow a beard.
How long did you go?
36 hours.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I know. I didn't make it. David Codrea, jump on in here, brother. How you doing up in Ohio? Cold, windy? Let's do the obligatory. What's the weather doing up in your neck of the woods by the Great Lakes?
Well, it's like I told Greg, we've got beautiful blue skies and the brightest sun you ever saw. Unfortunately, you got to get above a couple miles of cloud cover to see it, and we're at this like 34 degrees, so that when the rain comes down, when the snow comes down, it turns into rain, and the whole ground is just covered with slush. It's ugly, and the only thing I got going for me is I love what I do. I have a family that I just enjoy the hell out of. I'm here on Armed American Radio. I got a cigar going. And I got about a finger and a half of Romanian Suica that I told you about last week.
Well, I just held up a Padron Serie 3000 for the crew. There you go. I got it in the wrapper. I might get on that today. You never know. You know, the Armed American Radio studio does sometimes double as a man cave for some of the neighbors that are lucky enough to get in here. You know, there's two of them for sure. Well, you never know. I'll tell you what, I got fun going on today. I have an attenuator coming for my Marshall stack amplifier, which I will put between the 100-watt head and the cabinet so that I can crank that thing and run it through the attenuator and get all the power of that tube amp just going crazy at bedroom levels if I want. I can't wait to plug that thing in and see if I blow myself out. The neighbors will love me for that. And I'm going to be hopefully doing that after the show today. So there's that. We got crappy windy. It got windy today. Windy, and it's 56 degrees, but 56 degrees with wind here is, I don't know. And it's beginning to drop now as we get later in the day. Anyway, David, so I have a lot to cover with you today. I have been talking over the last few days. I'm hitting you with this intentionally off guard, but nothing really catches you off guard because you're so in tune with everything. I don't know if you read Lee Williams' piece on the ATF official who has moved over to Everytown for gun safety and the wish list that they have created over there to go after gun dealers. Have you seen this?
I had a chance to scan it. I have not read it in depth.
I knew you would have at least a chance to scan it. So you are familiar with the piece to a certain extent, correct?
Yes, and she's gone over there now, and she's of course making noises for all the new infringements that we need to impose.
Yeah, well, those new infringements that we need to impose, David, are again, I want to get your opinion. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I've been covering this, but her name is Mariana Mitchum, and I know you know who she is, and she's put a piece out about what they want to do to gun dealers moving forward. Now, here's the scary part about this that they never tell you. Everytown is actively lobbying, ladies and gentlemen, these points in Congress, both houses of Congress. They are actively lobbying these points. Let me just run through them quickly with you, and then I want to ask you one pointed question. They want to require gun dealers to obtain a state license. That's in addition to the FFL, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the show, that's federal firearms license that all gun dealers already have to have from the federal government. They want to require gun dealers to implement security measures to prevent theft, including physically securing guns on premises, utilizing alarm and video surveillance, installing security measures designed to prevent entry at doors and exits, windows, etc., which I'm pretty sure they already do, ladies and gentlemen. They want to mandate annual background checks and training and on people that work in gun stores on how to identify straw purchasers and other indicators. If they don't do that, they want to hold them criminally liable. They want to authorize a state agency or local law enforcement to conduct regular compliance inspection of dealers, as if the ATF inspections are already not enough. They want to require gun dealers to send records of all gun sales, David, to state officials for retention, permanent, with ongoing electronic access to records of firearms acquisition, disposition, and inventory. Notify state authorities of all trace requests received from the ATF. They want to authorize disciplinary action against gun dealers who violate their new sought-after laws. They want to require gun dealers to provide information to gun buyers at the point of sale about secure storage, civil liability if their firearms cause harm, suicide, all this nonsense, prevention. So I guess we got to have a PhD in criminal psychology now, and just plain old psychology 101. Establish a minimum threshold for responsible business conduct by gun dealers, which means do as we say or we put you out of business, and require authorities to prepare an annual report, including information on dealer applications, inspections, buyers, sellers, as well as an analysis of crime gun trace data showing patterns and trends relating to crime guns and trafficking. David, the pointed question, can any gun dealer in the United States of America survive if any of that were to become law or all of it?
Probably 98% could not. And that, of course, is the intent of it. Once you allow the states to set the criteria for what a gun dealer has to go through on top of ATF, you can make it impossible for them to survive. To expect employees to know what's on a person's mind is requiring them to be psychic and to be able to read the human heart, which none of us can do. And so setting up impossible hurdles works in favor of those who want to take our guns away from us. Just everything about this is just designed to put gun dealers out of business and to circumvent, the federal laws that we have now, and to circumvent the having the gun registration in an accessible database, which has been forbidden to ATF to do. And of course, they've been cheating on that anyway. But this whole thing is just an in-your-face. At this point, unless the Republicans blow it in the midterms, it's not going to go anywhere. What I'm concerned about is Republicans blowing it in the midterms, and gun owners who don't vote allowing this to happen. Then we're going to have a real problem.
Well, we saw that in Virginia. Now,
yes,
we can drill a little deeper. The more I thought about this overnight and over the past couple days, and subsequently going forward, I'm sure more will pop into mind. Everytown for Gun Safety is damn well aware that this really does not stand a chance in the current congressional makeup. But that's not what they're looking for. They're looking down the road. They're strategic thinkers. They're well-funded. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're hopeful that they can get legs in those states, predominantly 11 or 12 states behind the blue wall. If they can institute this in 1, 2, or 3 of those states, and then somehow down the road, again, strategically, 5, 7, 8, 10 years down the road, be able to pull off a trifecta, you can look at this becoming the law of the land in your state, ladies and gentlemen, if it were signed into law by a Democrat president of the United States. And I'm going to bet my bottom dollar that is more than likely their game plan here. Could I be right about that?
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. And that is the danger. If we lose the executive, then Supreme Court nominations are going to be up for grabs, particularly if the Democrats control the Senate and they control the ability to see who passes through advise and consent process and get all kinds, more Ketanji Brown Jacksons on the court.
All right, David. When
Clarence Thomas isn't going to be around forever.
And neither is Alito. And for that matter, I'm glad you brought that up. Supreme Court, I do want to go there briefly when we come back. They've been under pressure from some Republicans, ladies and gentlemen, both Thomas and Alito. And I want to talk with you about that with David Codrea. We'll get some insight from David on what is their plan. Part of it I understand, but it's still stupid and nonsensical. But I understand why they want to do it, even though I don't. But I do. You understand. When we come back on Armed American Radio's Daily Defense here in the CZ studios, we'll break that down for you. And then we'll cover everything we can get to with David Codrea. Segment 1 already in the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Put that seatbelt on. It's going to fly right by. We'll get to as much as we can with OG DC. Back after this. I think I just coined a new phrase for David, a new nickname for David Codrea, OGDC, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back right after the break. Got a little bit of work to do behind the scenes. We'll pop this mic live for you. Try to give you some good sausage in between the segments, okay? Stick around. It's always a fun conversation with David Codrea. It's garbage day at the ranch. Trust me, there's a lot of garbage out there. We'll get to everything that we possibly can. Please like us on social media. Follow us over at X, at AARMark. Guys, we are only about 60 people away, something like that, from hitting 1,000 at YouTube. If you do not subscribe to us at YouTube yet, please help us out and do that. Once we get to 1,000, it begins to open up algorithms and everything else and expands our reach. So we would really appreciate it. We're very, very close to that mark. And I thank you for that. Believe me, thank you for all of you who have. We need more. Please help us. We are so close. Maybe we can top 1,000 while we're on air today. That would be wonderful. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense will be back right after the break. Hang tight for us. Don't go away. Back at you, boys and girls, about 15 seconds.
The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show.
Indeed. Welcome back to the show. I visited patriotmobile.com and walked away with this iPhone now assigned over to Patriot Mobile, and you can do the same thing, and you can save yourself, you'll get a month free for doing that, and I paid off this phone. So I didn't have to worry about that. But if I didn't have it paid off, they would have given me a $500 deal, and I owed $500 on it when I paid it off. And then I moved it over to Patriot Mobile. You can do the same thing. And I asked you the other day, kind of harshly, I guess I should apologize for that, but if you haven't done it, why haven't you done it? Okay? If you're waiting for the big three to start spending the money you give them every month to support your causes and your lifestyle, particularly your gun rights, you're going to be blue and dead by the time that happens. Patriot Mobile supports you right now today, even if you don't have a Patriot Mobile phone. So how do you repay them for that? Get a Patriot Mobile line. You can add another line. Very cool, easy to do, and you're supporting Patriot Mobile for supporting this show and your gun rights and your constitutional rights in toto. So please do that, patriotmobile.com/AAR. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com, including Patriot Mobile and the National Rifle Association as well. David, welcome back. Let's go to Thomas Alito for a minute, both these gentlemen. Fox News had a piece up a couple days ago, well, actually yesterday on the 9th. Trump dismisses calls for Alito Thomas to step down from Supreme Court, calling them fantastic. And I want to point out, as a sub does, that for those of you who don't know this, most of you do if you follow this news all the time, Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas are the two oldest Supreme Court justices. David, you know that. And Trump was talking with Politico, and the outlet was reporting that some members of the Republican Party are hoping the court's two oldest conservatives consider stepping down before the midterms. Now, why would they want to do that? The theory is, of course, that would enable Trump to nominate two more conservatives to take their place while the Republican Party is still guaranteed control of the Senate. I understand that rationale, David. Again, that's a strategic thought. That's looking out a few years. I can understand that. But that tells me that the Republicans don't seem so confident in keeping the Senate, number one. And number two, I think that's a bad move at this stage of the game because Alito has already said he's not going anywhere. And he's not going to play politics. When he wants to step down, he's going to step down. He doesn't care who's in office. Now, maybe that's fuel for the fodder, right? What's your thoughts on that?
My initial thought when I saw that was, if you're in a situation against an enemy attacking you, the last thing in the world you want to do is show fear. Okay, and it seems to me that's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, we're not sure we're going to hold on to the Senate, therefore we're going to try to do this before this happens, and you're showing the Democrats fear. Okay, I think they're absolutely wrong. I think that Alito and Thomas should hang on as long as they can because Thomas particularly, the man's just a champion. I can't say enough good about him. There have been very, very few decisions he's rendered that I have disagreed with on visceral grounds, but on legal grounds, he was right and I was wrong. I mean, you have to be able to admit that as well. So I think that this is just, it's almost like when you're talking about getting rid of the filibuster, because then the Democrats are going to take over and then they're going to get rid of the filibuster and then it's going to be on their terms. And why aren't we talking about winning, and why aren't we doing those things that are necessary to motivate people to vote for you? That, to me, is the real issue. Everything else is kicking the can down the road.
Well, there's a lot of nuance involved here, too. Maybe let's tackle some of this. They are privy to inside polling numbers that we're not. Maybe they know something we don't know. Number one, there's always that factor. And I agree with you on all counts, by the way, on everything that you just said. I think it's a bad idea. I don't like getting rid of the filibuster, but Trump is right about one thing. The Democrats are going to nuke the filibuster if they're ever back in. They're going to do it instantly, and they're going to follow that mantra coming out of that Corporal Q-ball, 81-year-old goofball, all right, down in Louisiana, who is wanting to pack the Supreme Court, add 3 more justices, make D.C. and Puerto Rico states, and go in literally gonads to the wall here, okay, to secure Democrat power permanently. And so I get it, but I don't, and the harder you think about this, you can go round and round and round. You can find positives and negatives on this all the way around, almost like a catch-22. You keep winding up back at the same thing. So why shouldn't Trump get rid of the filibuster? He gets rid of the filibuster, we're going to pass a lot of gun laws out of the Senate. We'll do it quickly. National reciprocity will pass just like that. We can do all of those things. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, a new Green Deal will fly right through. It will make the minority party, David, literally the minority party with absolutely zero power whatsoever without a filibuster. No power whatsoever. End of discussion. And isn't that their ultimate goal?
And again, depending on what happens in the midterms and then what happens after that, if you've gotten rid of it, then they're gonna now be able to pick up what you did and take advantage of that. So what are you doing? You're giving them a head start, as opposed to being able to argue in the court of public opinion. And this continues to come back to low propensity voters and gun owners that won't vote. I forget where I read. I forget even what state it was, and it said how many gun owners didn't vote. And I thought, I understand that there's the sentiment we're not voting, there's no voting our way out of this. Okay, I understand that. But the alternative says that you're ready to fight your way out of this. And the bottom line is, whatever happens politically, here's what you have to ask yourself. Are they going to, are they going to disarm you? Are you going to allow yourself to be disarmed? Some of us have answered that question to ourselves. However, none of us have really been put to the ultimate test. And what you run into is, the Janis Joplin line, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. We've still got things left to lose. They're counting on that. They're counting that we are going to be peaceable. We are going to be law-abiding. We are going to
obey them.
Have our back.
They're counting on us to obey whatever they do.
Sure.
That's it.
Sure.
Oh, they're law-abiding citizens. They're not going to do anything about it. We can pass whatever we want. Here's a scary aspect to this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, dig a little bit deeper. It's easy to do. You can continue digging this hole. Imagine the Democrats nuke the filibuster. Imagine we don't have a Supreme Court decision yet on a quote-unquote assault weapons ban. Democrats will pass an assault weapons ban right out of the Senate. It'll move through the House if they've got control of the House. Now we're safe under Trump because Trump will never sign it. He won't sign it. Period. And they likely won't have enough to override a veto at this stage of the game if they take the Senate back. But imagine a Democrat president sitting in there. And no ruling yet from SCOTUS, David, which is why the Supreme Court, and I'm hopeful, we're getting ready to go to a break. I'll take this to the break and we'll come back to you. So keep this in mind for the break. But I'm pretty certain that Thomas and Alito are very well aware of what the Democrats have in store, which is why they're resisting any calls to do that, and neither will do that. And it's why Trump is resisting that call as well. However, now we're up against a hard break. So when we come back, we'll go back to David Codrea on this, and we will dig this hole a little bit further because it matters, ladies and gentlemen. All of what we're talking about is a very real possibility. It could happen. Trump is your president for now. If something, God forbid, happens to Trump, you're going to have a vice president that's a Republican.
Right.
We're looking forward down the road if this should happen. And these midterms are critical. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back at you in 20 seconds. Coming back with David Codrea. Please like the post, share the post, repost the post, subscribe to us if you're watching us on Rumble and you're already not. If you haven't subscribed, and hit the little bell over at YouTube, please do so. We are so close to 1,000. We would appreciate your help in helping us top that, so that we're in the process of taking back our social media. Guys, we need your help to do it.
The following segment of Armed American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, that would be cool if you would do that and join us at the National Rifle Association. We need your help. These conversations that we're having right now, the NRA is at the forefront of trying to stop all of this, ladies and gentlemen. And the only way that we, and I say we because we are members of the NRA, you should be a member of the NRA if you're not, is the point that I'm getting to. You know that. And we make it easy for you. We save you some money, okay? NRA.org/AAR and join. Look, you can go 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, you can go life membership. If you go life, we're going to save you $500 from $1,500 to $1,000. All right? If you go 1 year, it's only $35 for the annual membership. Put the card in your wallet, and that says, hey, I'm helping out. I know times are tough. If you can't donate anything, that's fine. If you don't like just eliminate the emails. It's simple to do. Say unsubscribe, and you're a member and you have your card. We want to make this as easy as possible for you. We need your help. We don't have billionaire Bloombergs in our pocket. They do. We do it with $35 donations and $50 donations to the Second Amendment Foundation, and it's as simple as joining. Won't you please do that and join this new NRA doing everything right? Big news coming from the NRA in the very near future, by the way. I'm in contact with them regularly throughout the week. So please support them, which means you're supporting us and yourself and your gun rights. You can find them and all of our great sponsors and partners at armedamericanradio.com or .org. Take your pick. We got you covered. David Codrea, welcome back. So I was writing some questions down for you during the break relative to that previous conversation. I do want to get to everything else, but this is so critical. You mentioned that none of us have ever been put to the ultimate test. And I know where you're going with that. That means, and I'll go back to Larry Codrea, who was on the program, author of the mind-bogglingly successful Monster Hunter series books, the trilogies and everything that are out there, the graphic novels, and et cetera. And he's brilliant. You know him. We've had great conversations over the years. He's a real philosophical thinker. And he made it very clear on my show. He said, those of us out there, when we talk about the Second Amendment, you hear a lot of saber rattling all the time, right? But the founders put it in. He said, use this analogy. Think of it as that big red stop button at a gas pump or something to shut something off, right? The moment that button is pushed, everything about your life that you've known about this country is over. That means this country's fighting itself. Everything ends. And that's the ultimate test. None of us have been put to the ultimate test. Our founders were put to the ultimate test. Why doesn't the left trust them with what they found when they tested themselves and won? Why is that so difficult for them to comprehend, David? I think that's a legit question.
Mark, it is such a huge question because it's an existential question. And all you have to do is spend a little bit of time on X and see the hatred that's coming, or really, pollute your mind and go over to Blue Sky and see what they're talking about over there. And we are in an existential fight for this country. We're already in a civil war. Mm-hmm. Okay, it just hasn't gone completely hot yet.
It's cold right now. You're right.
But the bottom line is, these things that I'm talking about that people turn their nose up at, like voting or joining the NRA, and there have been no bigger critic of the NRA over the years than I have been.
Yeah.
And I am a life member. Okay. Or, you talk to yourself about the ammo land, okay, and you're not going to get it from the mainstream media. Mm-hmm. There's things that we all can do that are peaceable things, and we have to do them, okay? We have to tell people about Armed American Radio. We have to join. If you don't like NRA, join SAF. If you don't like SAF, join Gun Owners of America. Mm-hmm. If you don't like them, join NAGR. Get with your state groups. Find people that you can deal with. If you don't have the money, we understand that. We've all had hard times in our lives. There are things that you still can do. and you're listening to this, on a radio, or you're listening to this on your computer where you pay your monthly internet fees and everything else that goes along with that, there's something that we all can do to move the ball forward and to protect our rights, because the alternative, if you don't do these things, then we're going to have to make the decision of, are we really ready to go live in the woods and engage in fourth generational warfare, okay, and all the horrors that entails. And you either do this stuff that I'm talking about, that's the easy stuff to do, and, well, I can't do this because the left can do it because they don't have jobs and they can afford to do all these different things because they're paid for. You know what? First of all, you don't want a Bloomberg billionaire to pay for us all, because then we lose incentive and we get lazy. But secondly, we can still do it. All the things that I've been doing, Mark, and that you've been doing, I was doing when I had corporate careers. I've been involved since the mid-'90s in this struggle, and during that time I've had increasingly responsible positions in corporate management, okay, and raised a family and paid my mortgage, and it didn't mean I didn't have time for my family. I still did. I still coached the kids' Little League team. I still did all the things that are necessary to do to have a whole and complete family and to have a whole and complete career, and still managed to do all the things that I was doing in support of the Second Amendment. So I never ask anybody to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. And so this is why I have very little patience for people that can't even be bothered to go out and vote. And my question to them is, well, is your alternative, you ready to go out in the woods with your rucksack and your AR? Because chances are 99% of your compatriots aren't.
Yeah, we had that conversation with Larry Codrea. That's an episode I should rerun on an encore sometime, and it was a few years ago, but it is very timely, more timely now than it was even then, because you take it, when you consider there's 100+ million armed Americans, and let's use that 3% number. If 3% of them were willing to fight, it's still massively larger than any government army at this point. So that, again, that's theoretical, it's theological, it's philosophical. There's a lot of different holes you can go down there. But I think that question is really a precursor here, because the Democrats are going to show their arses. I made this point the other day. They're going to show themselves during the 2026 250th anniversary of this country, David. So let me ask you this. Do you believe the Democrats will show because Trump, Trump's going to blow this 250th celebration out. He's going to do it in Trump fashion in ways this country's never seen. This will be a 4th of July unlike anything this country's ever seen, not to mention whatever else he has planned for the year. Will the Democrats participate in America's celebration of its great 250th anniversary of patriotism? Will they even participate? Or will that make, because if they don't, what happens then? How are they going to handle that? I'll tie it back to where we're talking about. It fits in.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to steal the narrative. So you see Mert Kelly and Lee Slotnick, talking about keeping your oath to the Constitution, which is rich coming from these characters. Okay,
right.
You see people increasingly leftists talking about Second Amendment solutions, which got Sharon Angle, in so much trouble when she was running against Harry Reid in Nevada for the Senate seat. And yet you see them talking, Don Lemon talking about using the Second Amendment to resist ICE, okay? And so you see them trying to hijack the conversation, and this is the way they'll do it, okay? While by the same token, then you have Joy Reid saying there's nothing special about American, European Americans, they just came in and stole everything, and they've been exploiting people ever since. And you take a look at her paycheck and her net worth, and all the millions of dollars that she's worth, and you wonder, where are these people coming from? But they know how to exploit this to gain power and to gain prestige and to gain money and to do what they want to do. So you're going to see the Democrats weighing in on all this kind of stuff, but they're going to do it in such a way to redirect and repurpose.
Well, you've answered my next question when you tied that together, because, again, that's the repurposing aspect of this. Folks, we're getting ready to take another break. We have more with David. We're going to move very quickly in the next segment. We're going to just kind of hopscotch because David's got a few things he wants to talk about. This is a very compelling conversation. I wish we had another hour. I really, truly do. But we always have tomorrow and Friday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, because we're 6 days a week on this, ladies and gentlemen. They will never stop us. We will continue to talk about these issues. The next question was, will you comply with what the Democrats have in store for you if it were to ever happen? This is always a good question to ask David. We'll let him answer that when we come back, and then we will move on quickly. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, here from the Patriot Mobile Command Center Ranch on the Patriot Mobile mic here in the CZ studios. All of it brought to you by the National Rifle Association. We'll be back with some great sponsor information and more David right after this. Flew right by, ladies and gentlemen. Final segment. The OGDC. Gotta love some David Codrea, man. He's good. Guys, we'll be back here in about a minute, a little bit less.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back.
Yeah, guys, we're going to talk with David Codrea coming up here in a minute why you need this, okay, if you don't have this. I mention this every day. I'm going to continue to do so. The best decision you can make for yourself if you carry a firearm is having an attorney on retainer for $35 a month. Talking with Jared Yanis at Guns and Gadgets the other day, that price is going to go up a little bit. It's not going to be astronomical, but it is going to go up come January. So get in now. It's $35 a month, ladies and gentlemen. $35 a month. Get in now while you can at that price. That pays for up to a team of 4 attorneys. God forbid you have to use your gun to defend yourself. You are not going to want the alternative, which is, why didn't I do this? Now it's going to cost me my house, educations, retirement, everything. And you might have done absolutely nothing wrong and get prosecuted anyway, okay? Just take care of it now and get yourself an attorney. You can make that phone call immediately on the spot. It's that simple. I don't know what else to tell you. Just do it. Attorneysonretainer.us. Great sponsor of Armed American Radio. Use the AAR promo code. I'll let you know when that website is live. But for now, it is attorneysonretainer.us. Use the promo code AAR. Get your shopping done. Have you bought your goat guns yet? Have you bought your holsters yet? Crossbreed's got you covered at our website. Have you got your Patriots Relief stuff? I've been using it all day today on my shoulder, ladies and gentlemen. This thing's about empty. I need to get some more. Great stuff over there at Patriots Relief. Bud's Gun Shop has you covered for all of your needs. There is still time. Order your Christmas gifts right now. We got you covered for the gun lover in your life. I can promise you that. And great from Tyrannics, some fantastic new apparel over there at Tyrannics. The website is available for you, again, at Armed American Radio. All of those are live links. Go get some shopping done, man. Have some fun. Great products for you, and you support the show and your lifestyle. David Codrea, welcome back. The question now, the quick question is compliance. That's a big issue. Virginia's facing this. Without SCOTUS stepping in, a lot of people are going to have to make some very difficult decisions, particularly in Virginia right now. Michigan's wanting another ban. Minnesota's wanting bans, local and on assault weapons statewide and local bans. We're seeing this in blue states across the country nationwide. Compliance is going to be a decision that many people in America are going to have to make, particularly in Virginia, come after January, David. And the question is, how many people will comply? What is the red line? It's kind of a loaded question, but we haven't quite gotten there yet, have we?
All I can say is that I have not complied for decades, and I'm still here. Hanging on the wall in my office is a shadow box that has a picture of Mike Vanderbilt along with a 3% patch and a signed 30-round magazine. Mike, when Connecticut was passing its magazine ban, was smuggling magazines, into the state to people who want it.
Successfully,
and I will not comply
is
a tremendous, rallying cry. And I think that you're going to see total noncompliance or very near noncompliance, like when they say you have to register your assault weapon. I've been through all that in California, where I tore up the registration form in front of the California DOJ and said, this is the only form you're going to get from me. It's an individual choice. Now, whether it comes down to resistance or not, that becomes, another story.
But that's up to them at that point. That's up to them.
But the bottom line is, I think that most gun owners are of a mind that they're not going to comply. But the easiest thing is to get out there and vote, and not use excuses to get yourself involved. The things we talked about in the last segment, that is going to be so much easier. It's either do that or prepare yourself for Civil War II, because it will come down to that if they try for what they really want to try, and if they finally get to the point where they have the confidence to think that they can get away with it. And the fact that they have not tells me that the Second Amendment is still working. Mm-hmm. The
Great
promise
point.
and threat of the Second Amendment is still working.
That doesn't mean it's going to stop them from trying.
No.
Ever. They never will. David, I'm going to turn it over to you. You have some stories you want to talk about. We've got 3 minutes. It's yours. Take the mic.
Oh, gee whiz. You talked about whether or not, you defend yourself and you need attorneys and things like that. I have an article on Ammo Land where I interviewed Barry Todd. He's a guy from Yuma, Arizona. He runs a financial company, and he had to defend himself, and he went through years and years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for attorneys to defend himself. I've got some people on AmmoLand that have raised the question, well, why didn't he just call the cops instead of defending himself with a gun? And the bottom line is, that's an easy Monday morning quarterback question to ask, from the comfort of your armchair reading a story, as opposed to the organic developments that happen when you're confronted with danger face to face. And the bottom line is, his answer was everything that he did was lawful, and yet an ambitious prosecutor and cops that were not looking at the evidence, and witnesses who on the stand changed their testimony after they saw the video of what happened. Okay, and I think that this is a story, and this is a book. He's got a book called Stand Your Ground, and I think that more people ought to read it. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is I have a new article on Firearms News, and this is about the Fraternal Order of Police that, along with the International Organization or an International Association of Chiefs of Police, has come out against concealed carry reciprocity, which I find extremely hypocritical, considering they all have LEOSA, the Law Enforcement Officers Safety Act, where they and their retirees can carry nationwide. And here they are. They want us to back the blue, and and the Democrats want to defund the police, and the Republicans and gun owners are their biggest supporters, and they're turning around and they're pulling this crap on us. And the thing that's funny is that I saw the article finally posted on Firearms News, and I burst out laughing because they used the letter that I got the very same within an hour after publishing that or submitting that article. I got a solicitation from the FOP asking to donate money. Okay, and I ended up sending their form back to them with a copy of my Firearms News article saying, "You've got to be kidding me." Okay.
Yeah, put whatever expletive you want before kidding, ladies and gentlemen. You can come up with a good one, and probably the one David used. Well, it's important. I do want to point out too that that's the leaders of those organizations, the rank and file of the vast majority of police officers support national reciprocity. Remember, they leave their family to go fight crime every single day. They know what's out there, and the vast majority of them do support our rights. But there are a lot that don't.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I agree with that. I have an Only Ones file on waronguns.com, and the bottom line is, I would love to see some police officials out there putting this down publicly, and calling their people to task and quitting the organization as a result of it. And until I see that, color me skeptical. Okay.
Well, you should be, and we all are. You can't put a number on it. It's impossible to say everybody or none. Okay. So clearly there are, but we don't know what the number is. But you are right, and you are absolutely correct to be skeptical, David. Where can people find you every single day and read all the cool stuff that you put out in defense of their rights and freedoms every day?
waronguns.com. That's the clearinghouse.
Yeah, and you can read David if you want to search for individual stuff. You can go to Firearms News, David Codrea, search that. You can search David Codrea AmmoLand. It'll take you right to those individual places. Or you can just go to waronguns.com and find it yourself. Take your pick. David Codrea, we love you. I think we came up with a new moniker for you. OGDC. That one might stick, brother. Enjoy that cigar. Stay warm with those space heaters, man. We love you to death. Fan favorite for a reason. Longtime contributor over 15 years, David Codrea. We love you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Thank you for being here. Please support our sponsors. You can find them all at armedamericanradio.com. Join the NRA. Get you an attorney. You know the routine. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
Guys, it's always fun with David Codrea, and he is an OG, the old DC. He's been here as a contributor to this program for over 15 years, an original member of the Round Table himself, Neil McCabe and George Hill. We've been talking with George. We'll bring George back to the program as soon as possible. And we're going to bring Neil into an upcoming roundtable just to mix it up with him. He will be on the program 1 week from today. He was unable to join us today. I made a mistake. I had the schedule flipped. I thought I had him for this week, but it's for next week. So he'll be here next Wednesday. So guys, stay safe. Please support all of our partners. We would appreciate that very much. Support us on all of our social media at AAR Mark, etc. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. We'll see you on the radio.